Hello, everyone. Welcome to Youth Bombs. I'm Carson,
I'm Dominic.
And I'm Holden.
and we're the voice of young conservatives in Alachua County. Today, we are going to have a discussion on intellectual property. We have Holden here, who is our resident ANCAP. He obviously, I'm sure you guys can all predict what his position on intellectual property will be. And then we have Dominic, who's more of a traditional Republican. So let's just go ahead and get started. Holden, just reiterate, what's your position on intellectual property?
When it comes to non-scarce goods, then you can't have property rights within that. So I think that IP laws and that it should not exist.
And Dominic, what's your position?
Well, I think that intellectual property rights and protections are definitely needed, because if you think in terms of books or movies, right? Like, a book is someone's own original work and ideas. They put a lot of time, effort, and thought into creating that, and they should be able to profit off of it. If you don't have protections for something like a book, then other people could easily just upload the PDF for it online for everyone to see, or even print the book themselves and sell it. So I think that the author and whoever they choose to work with in publishing that book should be the ones to profit off of it.
And Holden?
Yeah, I mean, so it's really hard to imagine a world where you have complete private ownership of capital in labor. But let's just do a little thought experiment. And I could be totally wrong on this because I don't know for sure what the world would look like. But I think it would be in a lot of ways very similar to the way it is today, actually. And I don't think a lot of people really understand that. Even in the ANCAP world, it would be, in a lot of ways, it would be similar. So when it comes to writing a book, like, let's say you write a book, and for example, you write in a niche topic. Let's say you write Bitcoin, right? You want to write about Bitcoin. You want to have the number one book on Bitcoin. So you write the Bitcoin Standard. All right. So you want to make sure that nobody else copies your name and writes your book, copies your all that, and just takes credit for it and gets the revenue for it. Well, I mean, if I am the author of that, before I release the book, I want to make sure that I go with a trustworthy company who's going to protect my name and image, and make sure that if I am a phony author, they won't accept me because it'll destroy their reputation. So I go to, let's say, Amazon. They want to make sure that their reputation is maintained as somebody who publishes my book and who is going to maintain that as me being the author, the correct author, the original author. And whenever I go to Amazon, they publish my book and make sure that nobody else says the Bitcoin Standard. I didn't write the Bitcoin Standard, but we're using this as an example. The Bitcoin Standard is maintained, and that I'm the author of that book, and that whenever the book is bought, the revenues go to me. And so I'll make sure that I choose a company that does that solves that problem. Because ultimately, this is just a problem that needs to be solved. We need to make sure that the original content is maintained and given to the person who actually wrote it. So, and I think that would function. I would imagine it would function very well. Now, of course, somebody could steal it and they could do that, but I don't think it would work out very well for them.
Now, Holden, I'm sure a common pushback to that would be, even if, say, Amazon were to publish it, still someone could just buy the book and then have access to it. So would Amazon then be able to, for instance, sue on your behalf for anyone, who's publishing the book without their consent?
Well, when it comes to like you're not going to be able to stop other companies or other people from trying to take your work and publish it online. But overall, I think this is a benefit. Hear me out on this. So, like, for example, Mr. Beast, this is something similar. He like, there's been YouTubers who've gone to him and been like, oh my gosh, people are stealing my videos. They're posting my videos. They're just re-uploading like the same video that I have. And he's like, dude, that's amazing. Why would you tell them to not upload your video? You're like, oh bro, it's got 20 million views. And he's like, that's great. There's 10 million of those people who didn't even know you before they watched the video. So you get publicity and it's good for you. It means that people want to see what you're writing, and they know who the genuine author is. It's pretty easy to see with the digital footprint today who the genuine author of something is. Like, if I tried to write my name on the Bitcoin Standard, for example, everybody would know I'm a fraud and my reputation would be destroyed. So the incentives align much better, in my view, for whoever the original author of a book, let's say, would be, or a movie, would make sure that is maintained.
Dominic, what would your rebuttal be?
Yeah. Well, in terms of re-uploading YouTube videos, I think that there should be protections for that, because if someone is watching, like, let's use the example of Mr. Beast. Like, if someone is watching Mr. Beast videos on a different channel, they're not going to go back to Mr. Beast's channel and watch it there. And as a result, Mr. Beast is going to lose out on the revenue from the views. And who's the one who put all the time, money, and effort into producing those videos? Mr. Beast. So people should be only watching the videos on his channel and not on anyone else's, and I think that it's completely unfair for other people to be making a profit off of a video that someone else put in resources and time to create. And back to the argument about books, if there are no copyright laws, what is stopping someone from just copying and pasting the book, posting it online, like allowing everyone to view it there for free, or someone even like printing the book themselves and selling it in a store? There's nothing stopping anyone from doing that if there are no copyright laws, and that is why we need them, to ensure that the author and the publisher they work with to get the book out are the only ones who are able to profit off of it.
Yeah, and Holden, I would like to ask you, even if, for instance, someone else were to print the book, they could just keep Saifedean Ammous's name on it, right? They don't have to necessarily put their own name on it. So I don't think that there's any negative to just going out and putting the book themselves and taking all the profit.
I mean, they could do that. Like, you could put your name on it or whatever, but wherever you're selling whatever company you try and get to do that for you, is their reputation is going to be destroyed. And they know that no genuine publisher of the book or whatever it is will be able to go there and know that their name is going to be maintained how they want it to, so they won't use them. And when it comes to like once the information is out there, it's no longer scarce. The information is no longer scarce once it's out there. So and when it comes to like Mr. Beast, I was thinking about that. Like, you make a solid point in that he took time and energy and money to make the video or whatever, and yeah, that's all true and whatnot. But if he likes it, like I know he does, because I listen to it. He likes that other people re-upload his stuff because it gives him more exposure. And generally speaking, most people go to his channel because they know that's the source right there. And I guess this is free, so this is kind of a different example. So, but anybody could download that video and upload it really anywhere else, kinda. I guess it is illegal if you upload it off of YouTube, I think. I don't know for sure, but most people are going to go to the source, one. And two, he likes that you do that. And, so you could say like, oh, he put the time and effort into making those videos, but really that person is most likely helping him, and that more people get exposure to Mr. Beast. And really, he's of course uploading the videos first because he's the first one to the market and all that stuff. And they know that if they subscribe to his channel, they know they're going to get the videos first, and it's actually going to be him, and they're not going to. So that's the I used to watch the sports show, and the guy there's this one like illegal or like this YouTube channel, he would re-upload the show, but like it was on FS1. And it was a show called Skip and Shannon, by the way. It was on FS1, and there was this YouTube channel who would like take the videos and upload them onto YouTube. But really, you have an extreme benefit going on FS1 and paying for that because that's the first one there. Like, you get to see it right there, and people want to pay for that. So you'll have that advantage being the first to market with whatever ideas it is. Regardless, it could be a new invention, it could be whatever the software, whatever it is.
Dominic, your response?
Yeah, I want to go back to your argument about reputation, right? You said that if a company were to start printing a book that isn't rightfully theirs, that like the reputation would be destroyed and people wouldn't want to buy from them. But that's simply not true. The consumer is going to purchase the book from where they can get it for a cheaper price. If the original publisher is selling it for $30 and someone else is selling it for $5, they're going to buy it for $5. And that is going to take away profit from the person who put in the effort to write the book. So I just think that entire argument is invalid.
I agree with you that people are going to try and buy the book on the illegal, or on the I shouldn't say illegal, on the place where they're stealing the book from. No, I definitely, that wasn't what I was arguing. I was just saying that the actual original author of the book is not, perhaps I didn't make this clear. The actual author of the book is going to go to a trustworthy source, so themselves, to publish the book where it is. So I'm not going to go to a company that is going to let Joe Blow upload some book that somebody else wrote, because now I know that there's going to be 1,000 books that say the same thing on that website. I'm going to go to a book or to somewhere that has a reputation for maintaining the integrity of the name of whoever the author is. So I think there's a little confusion there.
But I think this reputational argument would work for per se in another industry. But I think specifically in this conversation, I don't think people are looking to the place that steals books for a place to buy books from. I think they're looking for them for a place to buy very cheap books. So if someone just makes their entire brand, I'm going to resell you a book that you could have gotten from somewhere else for cheaper, the reputation just doesn't matter.
No, there will be examples of that. You'll have examples of, and you see it today, of course, with illegal movies and stuff like that. Their whole business is doing that stuff. Is to make it so that they take whoever's stuff it is and post it on for cheaper, and you could do that there, and that'll still exist. But and there's not really much you could do to stop it. Once it's out there, it's out there. But whenever you're talking about economic phenomena, you're talking about trade-offs, one, and no solutions, and two, you're going to have the established brand who maintains the integrity of the author, and you're going to have the illegal stuff, and that's what it is.
Well, Dominic, is there any place where you might think that intellectual property should be restricted more by the government?
Well, I think it's restricted appropriately already because, of course, we do have copyright laws on books and movies and stuff like that. And yes, it is true that there are people who upload them online or whatever, and they are accessible through pirating, but that isn't widespread yet. Like, most people, like the average person, is not going to pirate because they know the risks associated with that, and they know it's illegal, and most people are still either gonna, well, if it's a book, they're gonna buy it from a store or the publisher, and if it's a movie, they're either gonna go to the movie theater or they're gonna watch it on a streaming service that they have to pay for. But if we don't have those laws in place, again, like I've already said, that's not going to stop anyone from accessing it online for free or buying it from someone who sells it for less.
Well, I would personally say that while I'm kind of probably in the middle of the two of you, where I would say that I think intellectual property and copyright protections definitely go too far when it comes to like characters. Like, for instance, Mickey Mouse just last year was removed from public domain, or added to the public domain, and even still, you cannot use Mickey Mouse in like most contexts. You can only use Mickey Mouse in the very specific context with the clothing he wore in that movie, none of the later designs, and you can only use you can't even use Minnie Mouse yet because Minnie Mouse isn't in the public domain yet. So I think that generally speaking, especially when it comes to characters and general concepts rather than the specific entire book or entire movie or entire show, I think that there definitely should be a lot more, I guess, accessibility, and I don't think that the government should directly restrict that. And I think that is the thing that honestly is the most detrimental right now compared to just, not being able to pirate a movie, or rather not even not being able to pirate a movie, but just not being able to upload a pirated movie and provide the pirated movie. But can I get some closing thoughts?
When it comes to non-rivalrous goods, then you're talking about something that's non-rivalrous and it's not scarce. So you can't have property rights within that. So the what is the state protecting really? And really, it's just going to disincentivize a lot of innovation.
And Dominic?
Well, I guess my closing remarks just would be that it is necessary for the government, in this case, to enforce laws that protect people's intellectual property, to make sure what they, again, put in the time and effort to create remains rightfully theirs and theirs to profit off of. And yeah, I definitely think that those laws are absolutely necessary and a justified government intervention.
Well, with that being said, thanks everyone for watching. We really appreciate it. We upload 3 times a week, and if you'd like to email us, you can do so at youthbombs@alatrorepublicans.com. Thanks so much.